Hi, I'm Rebecca.
I'm Nicole.
We're from conquerbooks.com, and today we are talking about Tomorrow Factory by Rich Larson. This is a brand new collection of science fiction short stories, and we'll share some of our favorites and tell you all about it.
The first short story in this book is titled All That Robot Shit.
And it opens up on a beach. It's a desert island, and at first maybe it seems cliche, but it's definitely not, because yes, there's a stranded man there, but there's also a camp of robots nearby, and the dialogue is terrific. We made you, you know.
How made me, you I know.
You're like a goddamn chatbot, aren't you? Except you can't link me any porn.
How made me, you I know.
In some lab somewhere. Maybe they knew the world was all going to hell.
No.
Then where'd you come from, smart guy?
Then where did I come from? From the sky, smart guy. Piece of watcher in the sky.
Sun worship. How original.
Is it possible the man made us?
The only way to know if the man is correct or not is to pry its head open and search its memory.
So in Tomorrow Factory, there's a short introduction that precedes the whole rest of the book and introduces the author, Rich Larson. He is well renowned for simply his short stories, which is pretty difficult to do in my opinion. So Rich Larson, the author of Tomorrow Factory, has published 54 short stories since 2014, which is mentioned in the introduction of this book, which is a phenomenal number. Mm-hmm. And he also went to Clarion West, which is a notable, kind of like a writer's retreat for over a month. It's amazing, and I'm jealous that he went.
Yeah, the intro is really fun to read in itself because it talks about how when you're this high level professional working at your craft, usually that's the result of approximately 10,000 hours of practice, but then also the result of not only practice, but time passing and getting feedback. And so the introduction talks about how Rich Larson has been able to do all of that, and he's only 25 years old. I enjoy reading short stories, but I don't often buy a collection of short stories. I think that it can be hard sometimes to read a few pages of a story, stop, and then immediately get in the mindset of something else. But if you're on the fence about this book, I would definitely buy this collection. This is a top-notch science fiction short story collection. Rich Larson's dialogue and his settings, his character development was all fantastic, and they're really rich in technological details, as well as differences in dystopian settings, and really bizarre settings you don't even think about.
I think the reason we buy novels and we love novels is because we can get really immersed in the story, in the world, in the characters, and we can enjoy it for many, many hours. But he actually achieves that with his short stories. You jump in there and you are immediately thrown into a very technologically advanced world. Almost all of his stories revolve around technology. And what I love about his writing is he doesn't take the 100 pages that a novel may take to get you introduced to everything. He just throws words at you that you may not have known before you started reading, but he does so in a context that you immediately know what he means by it, and that puts you into the story without having to take the time to describe how you got there.
One of the short stories I really liked was called Atrophy, and it's about this woman named Eris and her partner and her daughter. And she lives in this beautiful world, but throughout the day she's starting to get these flashes where she doesn't see what is in front of her. She sees something else. For instance, her partner isn't good looking suddenly. He's gaunt and he has radiation spots and his hair is falling out. Or her daughter doesn't look like her daughter. The view in front of her isn't this nice city. It's suddenly this burnt landscape. And you come to understand that she's not seeing something that's false. She's seeing what's actually there, what she's actually living in. But in her society, people choose to have their eyes replaced so that they can see something beautiful instead of what is actually there. And I think there's a lot of strong themes in Larson's work. And in this short story, thinking about the truth, and would you rather experience what your world is like, or would you rather experience something that is nice but not true?
One of the short stories that struck me was titled Let's Take This Viral. and it is about a time when viruses and bacteria infections are a fad, and the main character, Default, that's another thing, he always uses these very, I guess you could just say technological names, but they're fun at the same time. Default just broke up with his girlfriend, and he's kind of in this depressive state, and his friend Shore comes along, who's recently changed genders, and Shore is this very high up social figure. Everybody loves her, and she has ratings, and they have tags, which is like everybody there has tags, which tells you, I guess, what kind of person they are and what they enjoy. And as they go around kind of sampling these new viruses, Shore introduces Default to a friend of hers who cooks up these viruses in his lab. And I guess the theme along with that is whether or not we are better without death, because these people have immunity borders that they can take down and put up so that the infection isn't directly killing them, and they live for a very long time. It was a great ending to that one. I loved it.
Let us know what short story you liked, if you regularly read short stories or not. And then also if you're going to try out Tomorrow Factory, I definitely think you should. It's really good. So we talked science fiction today with Tomorrow Factory. Our book for December is Fire and Blood, 300 Years Before Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin. Hey Nicole, have you read Game of Thrones?
I have not read a single Game of Thrones book. I am intimidated by books that are this thick, to be honest.
I've read them all and I love them. So I'm really excited that we're going to get this girl to read some George R. R. Martin. Read along with us. The book comes out at the end of November, but we'll be talking about it with you in December. Thanks.
Bye.